If you are working full-time and hoping passive income means no effort, this video will probably disappoint you. But if you are willing to understand what actually builds income outside your 9 to 5, without quitting your job or gambling your weekends, this might be the most useful breakdown you'll find. Most passive income content treats you like you have unlimited time. You don't. You have 40+ hours spoken for, commutes, maybe family obligations, mental fatigue by 7 p.m. Weekend trade-offs between rest and execution. Let's structure this around the time you actually have. Here's what most people get wrong. They try to jump straight to passive income without understanding what makes income passive in the first place. Passive doesn't mean zero effort. It means front-loaded effort that compounds into systemized return. The difference matters. And think of it this way. Passive income is built on 3 things: an asset, automation, and distribution. An asset is something you create once that delivers value repeatedly. Automation reduces the manual work required to deliver that value. Distribution connects that value to people who need it. Remove any one of those, and you're back to trading time for money. Most people try to build Tier 3 income, asset-based, leveraged income, without first developing Tier 2 skills. They want the result without the structure. That's why most attempts collapse by month 3. Here's an unresolved question we'll come back to: rental property versus digital asset. Both can generate passive income, but which one scales better when you're working full-time? Hold that thought. Let's break this into 3 structured models. Each one fits different constraints. Each one requires different leverage. None of them are fast. All of them can work if executed correctly. Model 1, skill to digital asset. You take a skill you already have: design, writing, spreadsheet modeling, project management frameworks, and package it into a reusable asset. Templates, mini courses, paid resources, checklists, systems documentation. Setup difficulty is medium. You need to identify what knowledge you have that others would pay to shortcut. Skill requirement is moderate. You're not teaching advanced concepts, just organizing what you know into structured formats. Startup cost is low. Hosting platforms exist. Distribution channels are accessible. Income range is variable and gradual. Some people report earning between a few hundred and a few thousand per month, depending on skill depth and marketing consistency, and a time to first result, 2 to 4 months. That includes creation, refinement, initial distribution, and feedback loops. This isn't instant, but it's also not speculative. The leverage here is asset plus platform. You build once. The platform handles delivery. You improve based on feedback. The asset compounds as you add to it. Model 2, content-based affiliate system. You build a content platform, blog, YouTube channel, newsletter, around a topic you understand. You create helpful content consistently. You build trust. Then you recommend tools, products, or services that solve problems for your audience. When someone buys through your recommendation, you earn a commission. Setup difficulty is medium to high. You're not just creating content. You're building an audience relationship over months. Skill requirement is communication, writing clearly or speaking naturally. If you can explain something in a way that makes sense, you can do this. Startup cost is low to medium. Domain and hosting if you choose a blog. Equipment if you choose video. Time investment is high up front, then shifts to maintenance. Income range builds slowly. Affiliate income follows trust. Trust follows consistency. Some people report supplemental income after 6 months of regular content. Others take longer. It depends on niche selection, content quality, and distribution strategy. Time to first result, 3 to 6 months. The first few months generate almost nothing. Then momentum builds. Leverage here is platform plus trust. The platform archives your work. Trust converts attention into action. Model 3, micro-automated niche website. You build a small website focused on one specific topic. Search-based informational content, not a blog about your life. A resource library that answers specific questions people are typing into Google. The content attracts search traffic. The traffic views ads or affiliate links. The system runs with minimal intervention once established. Setup difficulty is high initially. You need to understand keyword research, content structure, and search intent. Skill requirement includes SEO basics and content planning. Startup cost is moderate. Domain, hosting, may be content assistance if you outsource. Income range is slow but scalable. Once a site ranks, it can generate income for months without new content. Some people report a few hundred per month from a well-structured niche site, must others scale to 4 figures by expanding topic clusters. Time to first result, 4 to 8 months. Search engines take time to index and rank content. You're building authority in a niche. That doesn't happen fast. Leverage is asset plus automation. Content sits on the site. Search engines send traffic. Monetization happens automatically. Now here's what nobody mentions until you're 6 months in. All 3 models drain energy after work. You're building systems during hours when most people decompress. That creates a sustainability problem. If you approach this like a sprint, you'll burn out before the system starts working. There's also platform dependency. Algorithms change. Marketplaces shift policies. Search ranking factors update. You don't control the platform. You control the asset and the execution. That's it. Then there's skill plateau risk. You start strong. You learn fast. Then you hit a point where progress slows. Most people quit here. They assume the model doesn't work. Really, they just stopped improving the system. The hidden insight. Most passive income fails because the creator quits at month 3. Not because the model is broken. Because the emotional gap between effort and result is wider than expected. Consistency beats intensity. Burnout kills compounding. So how do you choose? Ask yourself, how much energy do you have after work? Not on your best day, on an average Tuesday. If the answer is not much, start with something that doesn't require daily creative output. Maybe Model 3. If you have moderate energy and enjoy communication, Model 2 might fit. If you have specialized knowledge and prefer finite projects, Model 1 makes sense. Risk tolerance matters. Are you comfortable waiting 6 months for meaningful results? Or do you need validation sooner? All 3 models require patience, but Model 1 can show early signals faster if you have an existing audience or network. Then there's technical appetite. Do you enjoy learning systems? Or does technical setup frustrate you? Model 3 requires more technical comfort up front. Model 2 is less technical, but more relational. Model 1 sits in the middle. Here's the upgrade path that works. Skill, then system, then scale. You develop the skill needed to create value. You build a system that delivers that value with reduced manual effort. Then you scale by improving the system, not by working more hours. Most people try to skip to scale. They want the result without the structure. That's where the leverage ladder breaks down. You can't leverage what you haven't built. There's one passive model I'd avoid if you work full-time. Anything that requires real-time client interaction, consulting, freelancing, coaching. Those aren't passive. They're high value, but they trade time for money. If you're already trading 40 hours for a salary, adding more time for money trades just increases fatigue. Now back to that earlier question. Rental property versus digital asset. Both can generate passive income, but rental property requires significant capital, ongoing maintenance, and localized risk. Digital assets require time, skill development, and platform navigation. For someone working full-time with limited capital and flexible time, digital assets usually offer a clearer entry point. That doesn't make one better. It makes one more accessible under specific constraints. Here's what actually builds passive income while employed. Structure, not urgency. You're not racing to replace your salary. You're building optionality. You're developing skills that compound. You're creating systems that improve with iteration. Income grows where systems exist. And systems exist where leverage is understood. Leverage isn't a shortcut. It's a design choice. You choose to build something once that works repeatedly. You choose platforms that handle distribution. You choose automation that reduces manual intervention. If you're going to build this, build it like an engineer, not a gambler. Define the outcome. Map the structure. Execute in phases. Test. Refine. Don't expect month 1 to look like month 6. Don't assume effort equals immediate income. Assume effort compounds into future capacity. Passive income is engineered, not discovered. You won't stumble into it. You design it intentionally. You build the asset. You connect it to distribution. You automate what can be automated. Then you maintain and improve. That's the framework. That's the leverage structure. That's what works when you're working full-time and want income that doesn't require selling more hours. Income follows leverage, not urgency. Stability first. Expansion second. Build once. Improve continuously. Scale slowly.